and welcome to the wonderful world of Reddit. Am I the bad person? That's not really the subreddit's name, but I just call it that because we keep it PG on this channel. So, am I the bad person for refusing to financially support my in-laws after they spent my husband's savings? My husband, 35 male, and I, 35 female, have been married for 5 years. He's always been extremely close to his family, who've had financial issues for as long as I've known them. My husband had a savings account he'd built since his teens, a rainy day fund we planned to use as a down payment for our home. That's actually crazy that he's been saving since his teenage years and he's 35 now. That's like at least 10 years of saving. Well, I mean at least 15 years of saving. Incredibly impressive. Over the years, he repeatedly bailed his family out financially. While it made me uncomfortable, I bit my tongue because it was his money and I didn't want to come between him and his family. Recently, I found out that his family drained his account without his permission. Not only did they take almost all of it, but they spent it on things like vacations, new electronics, and other luxuries. They didn't tell him until after the fact, claiming they assumed he'd be okay with it. To make matters worse, after all this, they asked us for even more money to cover some unexpected expenses. I told my husband we cannot keep enabling this behavior. First of all, it's kind of obvious where this is going. I don't know. Is this obvious to you? You, the viewer at home watching this. Can you see where this is going? Can you see the problem here? Am I the only one who sees the writing on the wall here? That you just keep bailing them out of problem after problem because free money is so easy to spend. Money that you didn't work hard for, it's easy to spend. And when you're enabling people to just, keep on enjoying money without working for it, then it just doesn't work out. I'm literally today just read the section of The Millionaire Next Door. Granted, it's from 1996. It just shows that the children of millionaires tend to not do well when they're given monetary gifts by their parents and bailed out of all sorts of things by their parents, and their lifestyles are subsidized by their parents. They tend to make less money and have less money in terms of their net worth than people in those same careers that aren't subsidized. So it tends to not work out for the people. It tends to cripple them more than anything. And in this case, it seems to be doing even worse because it's crippling him and his wife. I told my husband we cannot keep enabling this behavior, especially after they showed us such blatant disrespect. I don't want our financial future ruined over his family's poor decisions. It sounds like it's already being ruined. I don't even know how they got access to that money. That's what I want to know. How did they even touch that money? It just doesn't even make sense to me. It's his savings, so why is his savings available to them? It could be a joint account, but that doesn't make sense for his savings. Maybe he put his savings in a joint account because they sometimes need money for emergencies, like frequently. But then it's savings. I don't know why they would do that, especially when they're considering using it for, a house down payment. It just makes zero sense, to be honest. I don't want our financial future ruined over his family's poor decisions. He, however, feels guilty and says that if we don't help them, they'll be left struggling. Newsflash, they're still struggling. And soon you'll be too. You're actually struggling right now. Your marriage is struggling because your wife isn't a fan of this, and there goes your down payment. You're struggling because it's stressful for you. It's stressful for your wife as well. Do you have kids? Do you want kids? That money could have gone to a college fund, if not the down payment for the house. It's just not making any sense whatsoever. I really wonder about these Reddit people. They just don't post about if they have kids or not. That's actually very important because they're 34 and 35. There's a good chance they have kids, at least one. So them being included in the discussion will make it a lot easier to understand how damaging this is for that family. And if they don't have kids, they need to consider if they want kids and if they want to teach their kids to just succumb to pressures of family members being too lazy to work for their own money. Like, just let them go flip burgers at McDonald's, $7.50 an hour or something. They can pay their own bills, hopefully at least. He accused me of trying to cut him off from his family and says I'm being cold-hearted and putting money over people. Meanwhile, I feel betrayed that he can't see how wrong it was for them to secretly spend his savings. I told him this isn't just about the money, it's about setting boundaries to protect us. He's torn, saying he's always had to be there for them and he doesn't want to abandon his family. So his family is actually the one that's putting money above people because they're damaging their reputation with him so they can enjoy the benefits of his money. Things between us are tense, because of course they are. I said this marriage is on thin ice, especially as long as this goes on. I feel like if we give in now, this will be a never-ending cycle, and we'll never be able to move forward with our own goals. He says he won't feel right leaving his family to struggle. I feel horrible being so firm, but I also don't think it's fair to consistently risk our future. Part of me wonders if I'm being too rigid, but I can't shake the feeling that if we don't set boundaries now, we never will. So am I the bad person for refusing to support his family financially after they wiped out his life savings without his consent? Short answer, no. Long answer, definitely not. You're not the bad person. I mean, you're gonna be cooked. You're already cooked. Your savings are gone. That's a terrible position to be in. Now you're living paycheck to paycheck. Well, maybe if you live below your means, you're already saving up a buffer. But this was 1 day ago. Your savings is gone right now. So you're on thin ice. If either of you lose your jobs, if both of you lose your jobs, you're done. When previously you had 15 years of money saved up, that was enough for a down payment for a house. So clearly you're in the gutter, and they brought you there to where they were. Sounds like I'm being harsh now, because I'm speaking of these people in such a negative light, but that's because they're putting you in a negative situation. Marriage is tough, and if this doesn't get resolved, that'll be a very sad marriage, and worst case scenario, a divorce with potentially kids, which we'll never know about, because nobody talks about their kids on Reddit, which might be for the best. Well, that's it for me. Thank you very much for watching. Bye.